explain, the initiative that you have and what are the benefits of, I guess, books and reading?
Well, you want me to say my name first?
Yeah.
Okay. So my name is Janet Webster-Jones. I'm the founder and owner of Source Booksellers, which is a independent bookstore, and we specialize in non-fiction books. Although we also have some novels and some poetry and some occasionally a mystery, but um, we're primarily non-fiction bookstore. So the store began because there was opportunity, and I used my courage to go ahead and fill opportunities. I did not think about having a bookstore or having a business or anything, but I did have an opportunity to share books with people in the class. Um, and they said to me, "You're always talking about these books. Why don't you just go and get some and bring them back to the bazaar and we'll buy them and that will be that." Well, that was sort of the beginning of when I found that I could take books to events that were already underway. People had gathered for an event and they would offer vendors to come in. So I did that for a good long time, starting in late 1988 and 89. And then I was still working with Detroit Public Schools and doing one of my 5 different jobs that I did there. And in 2000, I retired, and I knew I needed to do something about what I was doing, and so I kept on with it. And then in 2002, I uh, joined with uh, 3 other women-owned businesses and shared a space on Cass and Willis, where the old food co-op used to be, the Cass Corridor Food Co-op used to be. And I was there for about 10 years, and then the opportunity came again to open a space in a new building across the street where we are now. And I took one space there and um, built a business as a now a standalone um, walk-in business. And then the pandemic came along, and that changed me up. And as a result, we did online sales, which I had never wanted to do. I always wanted people to come in the store, look at books, enjoy other people in the store, and have events. So that changed up there. And then in 2021, we had the opportunity to expand. And so we took over the suite next door to us. So that's where we are now. And I never dreamed up anything. It was just opportunity and courage to really to offer service in books to people.
So, what would you say is how does reading or books uh, contribute to someone's wellness?
Well, the problem is we are human beings and we have heads on our shoulders and we have hearts in our bodies and we want to know and understand the world. And one way to know and understand the world is through reading. And when you read about people, places, and things, and so that you can gain information, understanding, and empathy. Now, we're human people. I had a book at one time that said, the title was, "We are spiritual beings having a human experience." And that's really the truth of it. We cannot eliminate the fact that we are curious, we're gossipy, we want to know stuff. And now with the world as it is now, with high technology, with an explosion of ways of knowing, and books is one of them. People are writing books now, like that have been written on uh, that people have not written before, and on subjects that people haven't written thoroughly before, and on some subjects that need to be written on even more. So there's a big explosion in books, and people want to know stuff. I mean, you have to say, how do you find out what you want to know? Whether you want to know how to make a table or fix a car or know about people in a foreign land or know about your ancestors, how do you find out? So we call it reading, but you can call it information gathering. You can call it systems engineering or whatever they're calling it now. But it's really the search for meaning in life, and it's a search for knowledge to give meaning to life.
Do you feel like reading is good for mental health?
Good is a problematic word. Because when you use good, that means the other side of good is what? So we don't use that word. Mental health comes from a state of well-being. And that well-being can be in many forms, and it's also looks in different ways on different people. For example, I take the word age, which I have of that too. And there's all this talk about he's too old to do this, or she's too old for what? Too old to be wise, too old to think, too old to make decisions that are filled with experience and understanding. I'm not just talking about the president, I'm talking about anybody. Um, One of the people that I've often looked to as a aging person with really a huge heart and intelligence is Jimmy Carter, the former president. I think he's 99 now. And he was a furniture builder before he became a president. And he built houses after he was president, and he was all around the world doing things. And now in his upper years, and he's ailing, he has decided he's going to ail the way he wants to. So that means that people have all of their life, they have the capacity to choose, to make choices, and that those choices have to be built on something. It's just not a knee-jerk reaction, or emotional flood, and you just do something with that. You can really be thoughtful and consider things and be attuned to the rest of the experiences that you've had and people around you and the world around you, so you can move thoughtfully. We have eons of people who have written about the human person. Who is he? What's his nature? What's the person's nature? They talk about what's divine. We talk about that. How do we know a fellow when we meet them? You know, there's all that in the Bible. It's in Shakespeare. It's in biographies, all kinds of things. So you can choose to read, but you can also choose to learn what you want to learn by movies and TV and all that. I say that that's a surface look, because books can go deep into a subject, because we have many vocabularies and many languages in the world. Not every language has the same orientation to thinking as the English does. If you look at some African ethnic groups who have ways of knowing tastes and talk about taste, our sense of taste, they have many words to say, and it's not just sweet, sour, bitter, what is it, salty. Those are our big four, I guess. But they have many ways to identify how things taste, and they're the same with smell. So there's all of this knowledge that's in the world that we can learn and acquire and know through books, through reading, through listening. Now you can listen to books, have audio books. We promote Libro.fm, which is independent bookstores promote that one. And so there are many ways to know. And if a person doesn't want to know something, he's not required. He can stumble through life any way he wants to. Yeah, but that's a choice. That's why I'm saying it's a choice.